this game gave me something that it's just kind of every time I come back to it, I'm reminded. And while I can't replay it as much as I can with some other games, I truly think it's something special. And as you can probably tell, if you're familiar with it at all, this game was Monster Hunter World. Now, this game came out in 2018. Um, I was in middle school, and I didn't end up getting it until 2019 in high school for Christmas. But I was really into it beforehand. Like I was really into it, and I had never even played it. And I think it's because it has this appeal, where it's kind of um, this environment, very much reminiscent of Pokemon with all the monster designs. How you have this unique ecology with each of them, um, and it still has this lightheartedness to it, to a certain extent. Now, I had never played a Monster Hunter game before. It's my first game. I'm a 5th Fleet Hunter. I'll talk about it a little bit later. I have tried some of the other games. I've played through Rise, um, but I just wanted to talk about Monster Hunter World and its expansion, Iceborne, in this video. So, like I said, I got it for Christmas of 2019, which was Base World, and I played through. I had a ton of fun, and then I kind of stopped until Iceborne came out. And when Iceborne came out, I I played a little bit of it, and then it came out, I believe, in October maybe of 2019, and then I pretty much stopped playing it. And it got title updates, it got new monsters and things like that, and I didn't really come back to it until schools were shut down for COVID that next year, and I started to play it more, and I really got into it. I started doing things like building my little house or my room, decorating my room, catching a little indigenous life, which is normally something I'm not super into in games. I think the only other time I really am that into things is like Minecraft, but Minecraft is kind of an exception, which I'll maybe talk about one day. But the amount of detail that this world has is just so immersive, and I just got sucked in. And basically, I played all the way until the end of World, Iceborne even, until the release of Fatalis. I still have not slain Fatalis on my own. That's something I would like to work on getting better at. But this game isn't going anywhere, so I can kind of work on that as I want to. So I just want to kind of talk about the world of Monster Hunter World, and maybe what its appeal is for people that have never played it. I think a lot of the appeal comes from the immersiveness of the ecology and just the general design. There's a lot of really over-the-top stuff, like the Great Sword, and things like that, and just the general monster design. But it's grounded in reality ultimately. Lots of the monsters, they feel like they maybe could have been like dinosaurs, which is really cool. And there's definitely a fantastical element, especially when you get into the higher tier monsters. Like no one's gonna say Xeno'jiiva is something you would see in real world, but there's an element of realness to it, in that it is so alien. And yeah, I definitely say, like I said earlier, I've always been a big fan of Pokemon, and this franchise has a similar appeal in its creature design and its tone. Monster Hunter is set in a pretty terrifying world. There are giant monsters going around. In this game, particularly, we see threats like Zora Magdaros, Sharash Falda, Fatalis, these world-ending calamities of that are a part of nature, but kind of represent the need to stand up for ourselves. And despite this, monster hunters, like the hunting guild, and the characters in the game are very upbeat and optimistic. They're kind of hopeful, and they take this hunt as they take it seriously, but they also enjoy themselves and kind of inhabit this world, truly. It's not so grim and dark and just about that. Realistically, in Monster Hunter, only, I believe canonically, only the quests that you do in-game, like the main quests, they only occurred once. So hunters aren't these mindless killers. They are protectors of their village that intervene when monsters are getting too comfortable or something is going wrong with them. But they're not just going to go out and start hunting monsters for the sake of it. At least most hunters aren't. And that's an element of this game that I really appreciate, because it kind of shows this just understanding, and there's that emanating throughout the entire game. When you look at the monster designs, the way they interact with each other, certain monsters like Nergigante, and its actions being rationalized by different characters, it really shows that the developers understand what makes up an ecosystem. And I say that, and I don't. I like studying like ecology and like animals and stuff and cryptozoology, but I really don't know what it's like, and I could not come up with anything like this game has. Getting into more of the gameplay, it's really fun. There's 14 weapon types. I have tried all of them. I started with Greatsword because, I don't know, it just kind of clicked with me at first when I was not really good with movement. It was easier for me to just get in one big shot and then kind of wait around for an opening. I came to really like Sword and Shield as well, and Charge Blade. And all the weapons are really fleshed out. You can have a fantastic time with all of them, and yeah. And speaking of weapons and armor, weapon and armor design in this game is absolutely fantastic. I know that there are a lot of critics that were in the Monster Hunter community before saying that like certain weapons are kind of dull looking, and I cannot disagree with that. There are definitely some weapon designs where I look at, like, for example, from 4U, and they're really like really cool looking and really like extravagant looking and fantasy-esque, and in this game they're just kind of bone with a couple of scales on them. But I think they fixed that a lot in the Iceborne expansion, and we got some pretty cool looking weapons. But I do agree that there's that kind of flair that this game was missing in some elements. But I think that if all the game's weapons were like that bone or metal mixed with monster parts, it would be boring. But that's not the case. And the armor design is fantastic. It has some of my favorite armor in any game franchise. As someone who's played through like all of Dark Souls and stuff, there's just some truly iconic stuff in this game that makes me feel like I'm literally him. As far as monsters go, like I said, absolutely the highlight. They're so fleshed out and interesting. When I am asked to name a favorite monster, it's really hard for me. I really like Namiel, even though it doesn't have that much lore to it. I also really like Kolth Taroth. I think the idea that it's just this giant serpent with a mantle of gold is pretty spectacular. But I think all of the creatures in this world are just so interesting and fleshed out. And then you have monsters like Safi'jiiva, who are obviously just insanely cool, and they have really cool battle mechanics as well. Another thing I want to touch on about this game is the community. Everybody that I've met that's part of this community has been really cool and really nice. Obviously, that I can't speak for everyone, but there's a lot of really cool people out there. If you're willing to stick your head out a little bit and say, hey, do you want to go on some hunts, or do you want to talk about Monster Hunter on the Discord? There's a lot of really cool things, and a lot of cool creators who are making really great stuff with these games, and that kind of lent itself to me enjoying this game a lot more. Quite frankly, one of the most emotional experiences I've ever had in a video game was beating Fatalis for the first time. And like I said, I haven't beat him solo. I was in a full squad of 4, of my friends, but and these were people that I only met through Monster Hunter. I would like to say that I don't know anybody who plays this game. Um, well, is into it as like I can say they're a fan of Monster Hunter. I've had some friends that I've convinced to pick it up and uh, play through the story, but they've not really gotten into it. And so I can't, and I'm not a very, it's hard for me to make friends, things like that, or to get out with people, but this game has really helped me for a long time. And, but yeah, one of the most emotional moments I've ever had in games was slaying Fatalis, Proof of a Hero Swells, and it was just such a capstone for 3 to 4 years of me playing this game. And I'm not gonna act like I am good at this game, or even have like a ton of time. I think I have like 400 hours. Um, but it is definitely one of my favorite experiences in gaming, probably my single favorite. And I still find myself coming back to this game every once in a while and just doing some hunts. And it's just been absolutely amazing. And a lot of people still play this game, which is great. One thing I want to touch on is Monster Hunter Rise and the future of Monster Hunter. So I played Rise on my Switch since release. I played Sunbreak. Fantastic game. I really like it. There are some aspects of it I dislike. I think it's a little bit too fast-paced and counter-heavy. I think it's a little bit more arcadey. It's not nearly as immersive as World. But the roster is really good. Some of the new monsters added, like Malzeno, are really cool. And so, while I like Rise, I still prefer World. And I'm honestly hoping for the next Monster Hunter game to be more similar to World in its immersiveness, because this game is one of the games I can truly, I don't know, I feel like I'm a part of, and I can just get lost in when I play, and that's especially hard for me nowadays. But overall, I just wanted to talk about this game. I know it's kind of a niche community, but it's slowly getting to the spotlight more, and I hope the best for the next Monster Hunter game. I really do. No matter what direction they want to take it. But yeah, this game has helped me a lot, emotionally. Those are some pretty hard times when I started getting really into this game during 2020. I was really lonely, frankly. And this game just kind of helps soothe that, as cheesy as it sounds. I could just kind of sit in this world and listen to the music, and I felt like it would be okay. But it's also helped me a lot socially. I've met new people, talked with them, and creatively, I think this game sparks a lot of creative potential. Coming up with your own monsters or deviants of monsters, or character lore, kind of more based on the hunters, I think is really fun. But yeah, I just want to talk about this game. Let me know if you guys would like to see any more Monster Hunter content on the channel. I plan on making videos, a few videos, one about Minecraft, and then one about Elden Ring, I believe, soon. And then maybe I'll come back to Pokemon to finish up that Indigo Mask DLC, because I've been procrastinating that. But yeah, let me know if you guys would be interested in maybe watching me do another playthrough of World on my PC, because this is on PS4. Or if you would like me to cover Rise. I have not finished Rise. I beat Geismagorm back in Sunbreak, but I didn't really keep up with the title updates, so I still have all the Risen monsters, a couple of deviants, or not deviants, subspecies like Furious Rajang and stuff, and Primordial Malzeno. And I could also make some clips about that. And as always, thanks for watching. I hope you have a good one. And just know that you're loved, and yeah, you're doing pretty good right now. You're cool. I'll see you later.